What's up, everybody? Welcome to Xtra Points. I'm Gazette Sports Editor Eric Schmolt, along with John Derry. What the heck is wrong with
Cats, baby. Wildcats.
Why? What?
It's reverse psychology. I wore Arizona's shirt earlier in the segment. They beat them. I wore Oregon earlier. They beat them. Wearing the Cats today because we're beating them.
Why do you even own
I don't even know. I found it hanging somewhere where I don't even know where I got this hideous-looking sweatshirt.
You know what they do to like elementary school kids when they wear inappropriate stuff?
They make it turn inside out.
Turn it inside out.
They're going down, so I'm wearing it in pride that Kentucky's going to lose. See ya, Cats.
There's something wrong with you.
There is.
But we'll talk about the Badgers and Kentucky playing on Saturday. Somebody will be playing for the national championship Monday.
They will, yes.
And the Jets wrapped up.
The Jets, wow, what a year. I mean, they set about every record you could set, and let's hope they keep it going during the playoffs and possibly get a cup.
And we had some spring sports start Tuesday. The weather's looking pretty nice now, so we'll talk a little Janesville spring sports. Get you rolling there. All that and more coming up on Xtra Points. Hello and welcome back to the set here of Xtra Points. This is the show where we talk pro, high school, college sports, pretty much anything that's going on in the state. And we told you last week we brought some friends here with us. We got some other swag here this week. Somebody rightfully placing
shame on Barry because I've got a Kentucky shirt on, sweatshirt on, which
you're weird.
I am weird, but they're going to lose. So
somebody sent us this. Help keep violence off television and on the line of scrimmage where it belongs. I would guess this was some sort of sign after the trampling took place at Camp Randall,
Stadium back in the day against Michigan.
So we told you, send some stuff to us. We'll keep collecting and see if we can put some stuff up. Apparently we're going to have a new studio here pretty soon.
We'll be probably sharing it live.
I imagine the national sponsors are lining up as we speak.
They are, yes. Coca-Cola, I believe, is right there, and Anheuser-Busch. I think we're going to get them all.
We'll make some calls.
Yes.
Who sent the swag?
The swag, I think this came from Kathy at Xtra, who's
long-time viewer of our great show and one of our biggest fans out there.
So thanks for that. Keep sending the stuff into us if you got anything high school-wise, pretty much anything. We'll
send it. We'll put it up somehow.
Especially with this swanky new studio we got coming on.
Exactly.
So. But we're here to talk some sports. Let's start in the Final Four because for the second straight year, we got a good reason to talk about it.
Bucky's there, baby. Good stuff. And the Arizona game, I got to believe they play like they played in the second half against Arizona. They're going to be in good shape this weekend. They were dynamite.
If you have a half where you shoot 15 of 19 from the floor, you're probably going to win most games.
And 10 and 12 beyond the arc, and a couple of those, the last three that Decker took, he looked like he was back in high school at Sheboygan Lutheran when he made the game winner at State. I mean, that last high arcer.
Thought rain was going to come down.
Yeah, some columnist said it best. He said, I think the ball stopped in midair to get more oxygen and then just made its way down. And, just a great way to end what's been a great run for them. And let's hope they can keep it going against, let's face it, a very formidable Kentucky team.
You really just need to get rid of that. Burn that after the show.
I'm gonna.
I don't know. I think Kentucky opened as a 6-point favorite over the Badgers, but to me, it's a game where, just like last year in the Final Four between these two teams, came down to the last shot, and I think we could see that again on Saturday night.
Well, I think more than anything, the Notre Dame game proved to all the pundits that they can be beat. I mean, yeah, they keep finding ways to win, but, Wisconsin's certainly on par with a Notre Dame team that doesn't have the post presence that Wisconsin has, and they made shots, and Kentucky's half-court offense the last 3-4 games has not been great. They're winning right now with defense and making plays at the end. I think Kentucky made their last 9 shots, which,
Badgers aren't going to let them do that.
No, and hats off to Kentucky for doing that. They found a way. Notre Dame probably had no business losing that game, but Kentucky found a way, and until somebody knocks them off, they're still king of the court, so to speak. But
they've had a couple of those games too close where they've found a way to get it done.
Yep.
A couple other games in the regular season where they should have probably lost those games, and they've just figured out a way. Some people worried, that Notre Dame maybe woke them up a little bit just to show them, hey, you're not unbeatable. And
right.
Maybe people are a little worried that they would have wished Kentucky would have just blown them out, so they hadn't had that little wake-up
And
call.
I'm kind of maybe looking at it from the other angle is that maybe for those, freshmen that won't be around next year, maybe the collar's getting a little tight. Maybe they're getting to the point now where they're realizing the stage is getting bigger every game, and now they're playing in the Final Four, and Wisconsin's got the senior leadership with Kaminsky and Gosser, guys that have been there before, and I think that bodes well for them because you hope that the collar keeps getting tighter, and maybe Kentucky turns it into a one-on-one thing, and that'll be great for Wisconsin because they've got guys that can play that type of game. Decker certainly proved it the last 3 games. Kaminsky we know can. Koenig is capable of playing one-on-one, and if it's a half-court game, like I say, with Kentucky struggling lately, that's good for Wisconsin.
And like you said, the veterans, kind of like Notre Dame, this is another Wisconsin team that's not going to show up scared. I mean,
No.
They already know they can play with them. They did it last year. They've played with everybody this year. They got beat by a Duke team that shot the lights out one night, and they lost to Maryland when they were playing their best basketball. They're not afraid of anybody.
They just look loose, like they're having fun. Kaminsky's dancing and running around, and Decker, Nigel Hayes, Kaminsky, they've all been on the Dan Patrick Show in the last week, and they're just having a good time, enjoying the experience, and knock on wood, hopefully for Decker's sake, maybe this is the answer for him, and he decides, I'm going to come back and maybe try to have the kind of year that Frank had, and he's certainly proven now that the money's going to be there in the NBA, but you hope he comes back, and with Koenig back and Hayes back and Ethan Happ coming up, I think they're still going to be okay.
With the tournament that he's had, I think if they win it all, that he would probably be gone. I mean,
I would probably agree.
What else would you have left to come back for? He's turned himself into a lottery pick during this draft, or during this tournament, and it would be kind of insane for me to think about him coming back after that if they won it all. But, I mean, what do you think those chances are? Obviously, we got Michigan State and Duke on the other side of the bracket. I told you Sparty would be there.
You did tell me, and Sparty's there and playing very good basketball right now, and certainly 4 great coaches in the Final Four with Calipari and Bo and Izzo and Krzyzewski. I mean, everybody outside, if you're not a fan of any of those 4 teams, you're just a neutral, outsider looking in. What a great Final Four. I mean, you can't ask for much more. I got to believe Kentucky, Wisconsin, the ratings are going to be through the roof, and certainly if it gets to Kentucky and Duke in the finals, which we hope it doesn't, those ratings will be crazy.
CBS will just, they might just all retire.
They may cancel the rest of the programming for the year. I mean, that's, like somebody said, maybe Christian Laettner will lead Duke out onto the court if they get there on Monday night against Kentucky. But hopefully, I'm hoping it's Wisconsin, Michigan State.
I mean,
I think it would be great.
Given what they just did 3 weeks ago, it would probably be a pretty darn good game as well.
I'm sure it would be because they both know each other so well, and certainly for the Big Ten, a great year. Ohio State wins the football championship. Maryland women are going to the Final Four, and now you've got 2 of the 4 teams in the Final Four for men's basketball. So all you people knocking the Big Ten, stop it. There's nothing more they need to do to prove themselves. The Big Ten is as good as any conference around.
Realistically, I think Duke gets by Michigan State.
I agree.
I mean, I just don't see them matching up. They played earlier this year.
They did play earlier this year. Duke won.
It doesn't seem like a great matchup to me, but...
Well, a lot of it, I mean, Okafor has kind of been up and down lately, and if Dawson and Valentine can find a way to neutralize him and shots aren't falling for Cook, they got a chance. I mean, your boy Thrice has been phenomenal.
Thrice, yeah. If Duke wins it all, Justice Winslow is probably the player of the tournament. I mean, he's been unbelievable.
He's really good, yeah, really good.
And that's been the difference for Duke, and they really haven't had that close of games. There was a decent game against Gonzaga, but they weren't any real match for them. I just can't see Duke not in that game Monday night. But
well, I mean, and let's face it. Let's hope it's Wisconsin and Duke, and they played once at the Kohl Center. They shot lights out. Duke shot lights out, and I don't think they're going to shoot that well again. And I think Wisconsin's maturity and the guys that have been there before, I like their chances, but obviously a huge hurdle with Kentucky first.
Yeah, I think it comes down to the last shot, and I hope it's in Decker's hand.
I hope so
not
too.
Not one of the Harrison brothers' hands.
Not in the Harrison brothers or Trey Jackson, no.
Well, probably not, but he's been there before. You never know.
You never know, no.
Let's shift gears a little bit.
All right, let's talk Jets.
Yeah, the Janesville Jets wrapped up their regular season here Saturday, or they were on the road, but just ridiculous. So another sweep, went on the road, swept Springfield to set the league record for wins, 49 points, 100, fewest goals allowed, 113 goals in 60 games. I mean that's ridiculous.
I mean, people were telling you right now, if you have not got a chance to see the Jets play, get down to the Janesville Ice Arena at some point during the next month. They are fun to watch. It's good family entertainment. Get your butts down there, support your local team.
It could be longer than that. I mean,
they could
be
be
hosting games for quite a while.
Yeah,
but it
could.
Starts next weekend. They're going to host the Michigan Warriors, which they're very happy about, because going into last weekend, it looked like for sure Johnstown would have picked up that fourth spot, and all of a sudden you find yourself going on another 14-hour road trip.
Yeah.
And now they don't have to do that.
No.
So.
And you know better than anybody. I mean, it starts with Jurisic. I mean, that guy has been unflappable. I think 24 straight, 23 straight.
24 straight.
24 straight, people. 24 straight games in net that he's won. That's crazy at any level. I don't care if you're playing in Pee-wees or the
3
NHL.
on 3 in the street. Like,
I mean, that is unbelievable, and those guys are rolling, and Joe Dibble's done a phenomenal job with that group, and
they put together just a real rare collection of talent in that league. If you talk to coaches that come in, they just say it's just a different level, and they've put together a team that's just different than. And that's why they've been able to set these records. You don't do that just by chance.
No.
It's a group.
Look how many are going to. They're committed.
I think 11 or 13 are committed
that's
to Division
unheard of. I mean, usually you get 3 or 4, and they've got well over 10, and they're just going strong. And you can hope they can keep it up. And what a great story it's been.
When you get around them, you just get a sense that they just all care about each other too.
Yep.
I mean, that's what it takes for championship teams or record-setting teams is. Guys that don't care about individuals, and at that level that's very hard to do, because you need to get yourself to that Division I level or to the USHL, or you're there just to advance yourself somewhere. So to get a group of guys that realized that they could play together and win together, and that would help them get noticed to go to the next level, it's something that you're just not going to see every year, and so it's important to recognize what they're doing.
And I think a lot of people don't realize the amount of community involvement that there is with the Jets. I mean, they go to a lot of places, whether it's reading at a school. They were at the blind school for the visually handicapped last week, playing a blind hockey game, and they give back so much. And now's a chance for this community to give back to them, and that's go out and support them during the playoffs when they've got a chance to make a run at a NHL title. I mean, it's good stuff.
Yeah, they play for the Robertson Cup. Yep, and we'll kind of have some stories coming up in the paper just to preview the playoffs, because the Jets have never been in this position before.
Never.
Where not only they've been in the playoffs, but they've never been a favorite to go deep into the playoffs, and to get to the Robertson Cup this year, that it runs through Janesville, and it could be an interesting. I think they could host another potentially 12 games.
And it's a good brand of hockey, people. I mean, we're not just sugarcoating it. It's
a good one, especially now it gets to the playoffs and you have a team this good.
I mean, when you've got 13 kids that are going to go on and play. Division I hockey. And a special shout out as well to Ross Marmon, Janesville Parker graduate, and also
former Jet
was their leading scorer, all-time leading scorer. He is captain of the Providence team that will play in the Frozen Four for the first time since 1985, I believe it is. Ross cranked it up the second half of the season, and another good story there.
And he played against Connor Lemerand, who was a former Jet from Janesville as well,
Craig graduate,
in an NCAA tournament game. So that was just kind of a cool deal.
It was. Hockey's big right now. The Bluebirds went to state. The Jets are rolling. 2 local kids played in the NCAA tournament. David Jacobson, another kid, wrapped up a great career at St. Norbert. They were Division III runners-up. So right now it's a hockey hotbed, you might say, and that's good to see.
We'll shift gears now, because we got hockey left. We're going to have a couple of weeks here.
We're not putting the cap on that yet.
But we also got to shift into spring here a little bit, because the temperatures
it's finally above 60 outside.
Finally feel like it's spring, and the diamonds are at least cleared off well enough that you're getting ready to go watch a softball game.
I'm getting ready to watch the Cougars softball, and Dan Bayrader's got a nice team. I think if their pitching holds up, he's got a very senior-laden team, and they've got a chance to do some things. And I know on the other side of town, Parker Allison, a young team with I think 6 freshmen, but from what I hear, it's a good class, and they may take their lumps this year, but certainly down the road they're going to be better. And then when you look at baseball,
well, let's stick with softball here real quick. Sure. Well, you mentioned the pitching for the Cougars.
Yep.
And they don't have that one standout that you think any day could pitch a no-hitter or something like that. But they have 3 sophomore pitchers, and Dan
Humphrey,
Bayrader
Brandt,
says,
and Peliquin. Yep.
Yeah, that he's never really had that problem before, and maybe different deliveries, different pitch speeds. You're going to be able to maybe shift things around here and there and keep opponents on their toes instead of letting them roll through the lineup a couple times. It could be an interesting strategy, and it should be fun to see what they do.
If you look at their lineup, Al Hughes is as good a player there is around at short. Sidney Kramer, a 4-year starter in center field. Kayla Kaufman's an outstanding second baseman. Loveland's a very good third baseman. They got a freshman in Cox catching, but Dan's very high on her. And like I say, if the pitching, if you can give up 2-3 runs a game, I think that offense is going to score enough runs where they could certainly vie for a Big 8 title.
How about Parker? You think probably a year or two before?
Yeah, I mean, the Vikes are coming off an 0-21 year.
Yeah.
I think they've only got 2 seniors back. Allison said they would start 6 freshmen, including all freshman pitchers and a freshman catcher. And that's a tall task in the Big 8 conference. But again, it's a good group of freshmen. It's not like she's just throwing them out there. They're good kids that have had success at the lower levels. And I think she felt like they're a year or two away from not contending for a Big 8 title, but at least being competitive. The days of the 15-0 games, you hope after this year are over and Parker can get back to being competitive.
And for the Janesville schools in baseball, they met in the sectional semifinal last year. That was pretty fun down at Riverside, and Riverside will be the host of that super sectional day again with 3 games down there. And wouldn't be surprised if they met in the actual sectional final maybe this time around. 2 teams that bring a lot back and have legitimate state tournament hopes.
And I don't think there's any question the bar's set high at both schools. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt about it. Parker with the Big 8 Player of the Year back in Hunter Van Zant. Zach Bailey at shortstop, all-conference kid. Logan Coulter's an all-conference kid. Connor Osmond's got as much power as any kid around. For the Vikings, the Vikings, their key for them is going to be the bottom of the order because 1 through 5, they're as solid as anybody. Brock Welch, another kid that's back. And then you look at the Cougars, top to bottom, a good lineup, led by Nick Blomgren, a kid that's got a Division I scholarship, Macaulay Cox, Brant's back. A key for them, pitching. Some solid pitching with Alex Morrow, Chase Nyborg. They've got kids that got, innings that are going to get eaten up by various kids, and that's what you need, especially if you get postponements early on and you start playing 3-4 games in a week. You better have some pitching. And
Nick Kramer's a sophomore.
Got
varsity experience last year.
Varsity experience. Spry's got varsity experience. Right now on paper, I would think both Parker and Craig would have to be in the hunt for the Big 8 title. Certainly Sun Prairie, as the 3-time defending state champ, is at the top, but Parker and Craig, and we'll see them early on. I think they play the second week of April. They play,
which is a shame.
Parker opens up.
Back.
Parker opens up with Middleton and Craig back to back. So the Vikings are going to get tested early, and like I say, I wouldn't be surprised if both those teams, like you said, make a run at state.
Should be fun to watch, and it feels like just yesterday we put
my
basketball
favorite time
to bed,
of the year.
We're ready to roll for spring.
Monday is one of the greatest days of the year for sports. With it's start of Masters Week. It's the NCAA Final Four championship game, which hopefully Wisconsin's in, and it's the first day of Major League Baseball. So circle your calendars for Monday.
It's kind of weird that not typically is the tournament championship and opening day on the same day. Last year, I remember it was the Monday before because we were all at Miller Park, but we were buzzing about people who were going down to Dallas for that, and this time around it's all in one day, which
it's good stuff.
It could get a little.
I'm off on Monday, right?
It could get a little messy around.
Am I off Monday?
On Monday.
I'm off, right?
I think so. I think I am. I'm taking the day off too.
All right.
There might not be a sports section Tuesday. I don't think there's anything going on anyway. We'll just bring it to you on Wednesday.
And our great producer, Andy, we've got something we must read you, so I'm going to let Eric read that for you.
You want me to read the whole thing?
I couldn't read it. I need my cheaters.
Well, if you like the show, we could use your support. So if you can subscribe on YouTube or check out your local podcast network, soon including iTunes. And you can let us know if you like the show or if you hate John Barry's sweatshirt, which you probably do.
Which I hate.
And you can also find us on Twitter at Eric Schmolt, at BearsEcho1. We'll get Mr. Writer over there to probably include those in the video. And all music provided by Kevin McLeod. And you can find all the links and more during this show, probably right down here.
Right down in front of our ugly mugs.
Maybe down below. You'll find it. I have full confidence in you.
Yes, you will.
Right back here next week, maybe over there. We'll see.
Take care, everybody. Go Badgers.